Hi there, everybody. It's Dr. Steve with Kinesi, and here we are for part 3 of your Start Your Healing Now, what to do and where to start with headaches. In part 1, we talked a little bit about different types of headaches and that we're working on the common themes. In part 2, we went into creating some blood flow and some lubrication, getting the upper spine moving. Now in part 3, what I want to do is take you into a hamstring stretch to help your headaches. And sometimes it's a little hard to tell how our hamstrings related to headaches, but one of the things that happens is our world, we do a lot of sitting. And what happens when we sit, we tend to slouch and we rock back on the tailbone onto the pelvis. And what happens is the tail tucks underneath us. That puts the hamstrings into a shortened position. Over time, they get short, and all of this kind of crunched down computer position just creates a whole lot of tightness on the back side of the body. So if we go to stand up and then the hamstrings are tight, one of the things they're doing is they're tugging on the back of the pelvis, which will tuck the tail underneath you, but then that creates all of this tension. And because we need to keep our eyes on the horizon, we end up into this kind of a posture. And that is not so great. And that will add to headaches, being uncomfortable. So what we're going to do is a stretch for the whole back side of the body. This is really hitting the hamstrings, but it's the entire posterior chain. And I'm going to show you 3 ways to do this. We're going to go easier to harder. And so the motion is always the same, but we're going to just be positioning the body a little bit different to make it a little bit harder as we go. So what we're going to do is stand in front of something, and we're going to use a chair seat first. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Both hands go onto the chair seat. And so what's happening is we're creating a stretch on the back side of the body. And then we're going to bend and lift the hips up and back. And it's the up and back where you're creating the stretch for the hamstring. So like all the other things that we go in the 3 planes of motion, we go up and down, we swing the hips side to side. And let me give you just this other angle to see what I mean. When I'm saying swinging the hips side to side, we really want to get the hips going side to side. As I change here, and if I give you this angle, and I'm swinging the hips side to side, we really want to see this shin bone, the tibia, rotating back and forth because of how the muscles come down and wrap around the knee to attach. So the side to side, we're swinging the hips side to side. That's creating this rotation into the leg. And then we take the body in funny, awkward circles. They're awkward because not often are you putting your body into this position and trying to draw a circle with your butt, but that's what we're doing. Okay. And then you ease up, and I always like to remind people, no passing out, no falling over, no fainting, no blacking out. Take a moment, let the juices settle before you switch and repeat, because when you're tipped upside down, you're upside down. So then we put the other foot forward, hands onto the chair seat. We do the up and back. We do the side to side. We go around in circles each way. The higher the hands are, the easier it is, so we can progress, where then we're going to use some yoga blocks. So these are lower than the chair seat, and as the hands get lower, the stretch gets a little bit more, a little bit tougher. So we're going to have the 1 foot forward, hands onto the yoga blocks, but then everything else is the same. We do the lift up and back. We do the swing side to side, and then we go in circles. Of course, yoga blocks are wonderful because you can change heights, and within just having the yoga blocks, you can have your own little progression to go a little bit lower, a little bit lower. Now, where we are heading eventually is wanting to bend everything and get the hands onto the ground. And so this is the more challenging of the different versions. The same stretch, the same moves, everything bends, hands get onto the ground. So this is almost like you're in a sprinter's start position. The hands stay there, and then you're doing the lift the hips up and back. We do the swinging side to side, and then we go into the circles both ways. And then you would ease up, switch feet, and repeat. So there, we're doing the hamstring stretch to help your headaches, to loosen up the whole back side of the body, which tends to be tugging on everything and just creates a lot of that tightness and tension tugging on into the back of the neck as we're into this poor kind of position. And we want to be up and tall and upright. So the hamstring stretch, although it seems a little bit hard to connect the dots at first, it really does have a profound effect on how the pelvis is positioned, loosening up that, because the pelvis is connected to the spine, and at the top of the spine is the head. So if there's tightness up in the system, it'll be tugging on the head. So as we loosen up the back side of the body, things will be feeling better. Okay, so there we have part 1, part 2, part 3 of dealing with your headache, working on the common themes: tight muscles, restricted thoracic spine, and lack of blood flow. So we're giving you things to do for all of those different elements that we're trying to address. And if you or anybody that you care about is suffering with headaches, send them in and let's figure out a plan and help them move forward so they can feel better and function better. Okay, until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.